And that's one of the things that about immigration that people don't realize.
Now, how about on the application? You say you have to pay a lot. How about the time frame? Like, is it a pretty quick return on those?
No, it depends. Like now, of course, a lot of people, you have a lot of people applying for it. So of course, it's like you're applying for, college. If you're not on the, if you're not one of the first ones, you're gonna be, left behind, or you're gonna be, there waiting for years. Okay. So no, it depends on how far you are on the list. Okay. Also, a lot of immigrants that come here are not just from, Latin America. I mean, you got immigrants from China, Japan. You got immigrants for, different parts of Europe, okay? You got immigrants from all the Caribbean countries that are not Spanish speaking, okay? So you got immigrants from all over the place, okay? I know that it's hard sometimes when you live here in Greenville where you only see one kind of people, maybe a few, as we call, black people or something, right? I mean, that's why, it's mainly white around here, okay? So you don't get to see a lot of cultural diversity, right? So, but once you get out of here and you start going to the city, you start getting a job, you get married, you go to college and start seeing them, you realize, whoa, the United States is a little different than my good old hometown of Greenville, okay? So, you just gotta be ready. Immigration is always coming. That's how the U.S. got formed, by people immigrating here, right? Your ancestors are probably immigrants. So that's how it works. It just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, okay?
How about Lourdes, your wife?
My wife?
Is she citizen? What is she?
She's a citizen also.
Okay.
When you get married to a citizen, when I was a citizen, I'm a citizen, so my wife got married. She's from Dominican also. Instead of waiting 5 years, you can wait 3 years because you are married to a citizen. So if you are marrying a citizen in the U.S., all you have to do is wait 3 years instead of 5.
You still have to fill out all the paperwork.
Fill out the paperwork. You get an interview to make sure that you're not doing it for business, because some people, some people pay money to U.S. citizens for them to get married, so they can bring them to the U.S. and then eventually they are not even married, they just separate whatever. So you have an interview process that you go through.
And then you have a child coming. When is the baby due?
The baby's due October 21st.
Okay. And then because it's born here, and you are both citizens anyway, it would be a citizen.
It would be a U.S. citizen, yes.
But if you were, so you became a citizen and let's say your wife is still in that 3-year period where she hasn't become one, even though she isn't one at that time, if she were to have the baby because it's born here,
yes,
it would be a U.S. citizen.
So if you are not from the U.S. and you come and have a baby here, the baby is a U.S. citizen, automatically.
And this is the term that you heard in the video. What are those called?
Anchor babies.
All right, so if you came here illegally and had your baby here, this is the negative term that they use as an anchor baby. So the idea is now you have it, the baby's a U.S. citizen because it's born here, okay, regardless of the parents. And so the negative kind of vibe out there is that these people are having their babies here so that they are anchored and they have to stay. Like, I can't leave my kid here and go back home, so obviously we're just going to have to stay here too. So that's our anchor to stay in the U.S. And so there's some people that are upset about that people come here so they can become citizens kind of a roundabout way, not going through the applications, not going through the proper ways, but coming, having a baby, and then they're here. So you'll hear that term in the debates, and that's just something to be aware of. But if you're a citizen, obviously you have a baby as a citizen. Do you guys have any questions for Senor? Dealing with immigration. You may have other questions for her.
Everybody here was born in the U.S.? Nobody? What's your name?
I'm from Austria.
Oh, you're from, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you just exchange students?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, Thomas, why don't you tell them how you're here? Like, you have to have some paperwork to be here too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you have? They may not be aware. How long?
I had an interview too in Vienna at the U.S.
The embassy, maybe?
Embassy? Or?
Yeah, embassy. Yeah, had a short interview about why I want to come here, what I'm doing here. Yeah.
And then how long do you get to stay?
Yeah.
How long do you get to stay?
June.
Till June?
Yeah.
And then at that point you have to leave, right?
Yeah.
Because when they give you the visa, like a student visa,
It's called a student visa.
yeah, workers visa. Sometimes if you are playing like in the Olympics or something like that, they got to give you a visa for like either a job or a sports event. And then some people, like for example Cuba, okay, I don't know if you know the history with Cuba, I mean communists and stuff like that. A lot of their athletes, sometimes when they come and they have they play in a sports event and they in another territory, okay, sometimes they stay, so that way they can become so that country can help them get out of Cuba kind of thing. So sometimes with that you still have to get a visa to come, have permission to come play, and then if you don't go back, then you'll become illegal in that country if you don't go back. But then sometimes it depends where the country you come from. If you come from a communist country or a dictatorship or whatever, sometimes if you stay in that country, you don't become illegal. You become what do they call it? Like if
Like a refugee or
a refugee, something like that. So, where that country will actually help you, with your papers and stuff like that because you were running away from a bad situation. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your story.
Thank you guys. Thank you for listening.